Cross the rainbow bridge of Asgard, where the booming heavens roar.
What were you the god of again?
Thunder, feel the thunder. Lightning and the thunder. Thunder, feel the thunder. Lightning and the thunder. Thunder.
The god of thunder, mighty Thor.
Gorr, the God Butcher, one of Thor's most threatening villains, and one of his most overlooked simply because of how new he is. Gorr first appeared in Thor, God of Thunder, issue number 1 from 2012, written by Jason Aaron. His first story arc and his only story arc currently is absolutely phenomenal in every way, shape, and form, and I highly recommend it. But who is Gorr? That's not really what we're going into today. What we're going into is his powers, which come from a weapon unlike any other in the Marvel Universe. One made to kill gods of all kinds, elder gods, newer gods, gods of thunder. So why are we discussing this? Well, it's really to look at what Hela will be doing in Thor Ragnarok. Said a few weeks ago now, executive producer Brad Winderbaum, I hope I'm saying that correctly, he's one of the executive producers, as I said, for Thor Ragnarok, had this to say about Hela. A lot of the design of Hela is a combination of the early Jack Kirby stuff, but also, especially, his power set, the villain Gorr, who has a very specific power set of being able to manifest an infinite number of weapons. This is very interesting. We've seen Hela use an all-black sword in the trailers. We've also seen her manifest hundreds of blades just shooting out of her. Something else is, I don't have the direct quote with me right now, but Kate Blanchett in the Entertainment Weekly magazine with Thor mentions that Hela's headdress is a weapon of sorts. It's very important to the plot. Now, I think I have theorized that it belongs to Thor the God Butcher for a while now, and the quote from Brad, as I quoted earlier, seems to suggest that that is what it is. So let's begin with, how did Gorr get his power? Well, this is a little complex, but also not really, so I don't know why I said that. But let's start. Gorr lived on a desolate planet. His species was just always praying to the gods, and he realized nothing good was ever happening. His sons died, his wife died, everything went wrong, but they never lost faith, except for him. When suddenly, one day, two gods clashed, and they fell to the earth. Or not to the earth, but to his planets. He found them in a lock, death gripped the golden one as he laid there. As Gorr looked and said, "Gods, there were gods all along." As he tried to see if they could talk, the one in golden armor, the one that was still alive, said, "Help me." Gorr responded with, "Help? You? Help you? Where were you? Where were you when my children were starving, when my wife was screaming for your help, when my mother was being butchered like an animal? Where were you when we needed our gods?" Then, the black god who fell, covered in a black armor, it manifested in a strange, liquid state, and it attacked Gorr. When it came to him, it was like a small dagger. It fell from the sky many years ago in a world without a name. I picked it up and butchered my first god. And then as I stood there, baptized in their blood, a question formed in my simple little brain. I wonder if there are more. And of course there were. And so, I set out to find and kill them all. And that's what began Gorr the God Butcher's story. As he went and he hunted gods, But what was this thing that he got? What could it do? It could do lots. It could form into anything. It allowed him to travel through space, to do anything. It gave him godlike powers, ironically. But what was it? We don't know till later, when Thor steals the weapon from Gorr. How he does it is unknown. Well, as Gorr puts it, impossible! To which old King Thor says, then let us watch the impossible. As Thor stands with this weapon of power, he says it's not your weapon anymore. It laughs at you, Gorr. Its name is All Black, the Necrosword, the Slicer of Worlds, the Annihila Blade, and it was meant to be wielded by a god. But you were right about one thing. No, give it back. It was also meant to kill them. So what is it exactly? We don't really know, but we know not where it came from, but we know what it is, I guess, is what I'm trying to say. It's a godly weapon, and it's made to kill gods. So thinking of Hela using this to bring Asgard to its knees is not something that I think is far-fetched, and I think it makes perfect sense. I hope they go a little bit into the lore of it, and I hope they discuss it. Because All Black Necrosword is absolutely terrifying, and something I think would be absolutely beautiful to see is if Hela uses the All Black Necrosword against Thor, but Thor, I'm hoping at the end of this film, gets, at least for just this movie, he doesn't need it in Infinity War, the Twilight Sword, which is supposed to bring Ragnarok or stop Ragnarok. It's a long story, it's used for lots of things. But I'm desperately hoping he uses the Twilight Sword, which is like a big, bright sword of light. And imagine that clashing against All Black, the Necrosword. It would be beautiful, absolutely beautiful. But that's what it is. That's where it came from, as far as we know, and that's how it became a piece of the Marvel Universe. I'm so excited to see it brought to life. And I can't wait to discuss more about Gorr the God Butcher and his storyline, because it's so wonderful. And I am just in love with this Thor story arc. It's just amazing. And I highly recommend it.